Hello and welcome back to Up the Villa podcast. If you are new, subscribe, drop a like on this video. We have got to go big on this debrief. So we'll go 1,000 likes. If you enjoy this content, smash a like and comment your thoughts in the comment section down below. Aston Villa 4, West Ham United 1. Still absolutely buzzing from that result. Can't stop looking at the Premier League table. Can't stop watching anything to do with Aston Villa at the minute as well. So I'm absolutely loving all of the content which is on offer. So this is our debrief where we have more of a deeper dive into what happened against West Ham United. We've got passing networks, we've got stats, we've got graphics, we've got stills from the game. So we'll go right through it and we'll pick the bones out of Aston Villa for West Ham United 1. But, you know, overriding emotion is very, very happy as a Villa fan to see where we are and to see the continual hard work, what Unai and the players are putting in and the way that we're playing and how demanding he is. I've seen some quotes from him talking about Dougie Luiz when he went a little bit loose in that second half and how demanding he is. And he also spoke about when he missed 2 chances at Wolves. And he said, you know, when you get into the edge of the box, you know, you should be doing a lot better. So even though Dougie's our best player, in my opinion, there's that sort of pushing him and striving to be better. And I think that's what I absolutely love with Unai. And that's how you know you're in sort of a great place, because even though the fans can get excited about being 5th, you know Unai's sort of working out the plan, and behind the scenes he gets the players in that right mentality. He sets them up for the challenge. And I think that's what I really like as well. And it's all about the challenge. I put a tweet out yesterday saying, you know, this is a big game for Villa. It's a big challenge. If we win, we go into sort of like a 5th place, 2 points behind the leaders, with Luton coming up at home. So again, we know Luton at home is going to be a tough challenge. But if we come through that challenge, then these small little steps that we're making, he's just going to be there for that end goal. And again, Emery did a brilliant piece with the national papers on Sunday morning talking about his time at Aston Villa. Anyone who watched the press conference would have heard me talking about Unai's haircut. And no surprise to me, Unai did go home and he did have his haircut. So, yeah, my professional hair opinion was correct on that one. No, that's a fantastic read as well. So if you can go and read that about Unai's first year at Villa, and one of the big things for me to come out of that was everything that Unai was promised from the owners before Unai got here, they have delivered with. And that's massive for me because I know we keep talking about Unai in a minute, but we are getting into his sort of like his second year now. So I think there's got to be some sort of talk of how well he's done. And we literally praise him every week anyway. But for Unai at Aston Villa, and I sometimes see this, but we've got to be careful now. No one comes and takes Unai. Nobody's coming to take Unai. Unai is not going to leave. For me, it doesn't matter who comes in for Unai. What we've built under Unai is Unai's learnt from his failings at certain clubs. And Unai knew that he needed everything in place for him to succeed. And some owners would probably say, yeah, we'll give you this, we give you that, we give you that. When you're here, we don't do none of it. But what our owners have done is they've gave Unai everything that he needs to succeed. And that's massive for me, because for Emery to be happy and for Emery to want to work and do his role, he's got to have what he needs here as well. And that was one of the biggest takeaways from this interview with the local press, that we've delivered on everything that we said we would. And that's absolutely huge. So absolutely loving it. Right, let's get into the debrief then. So one thing I wanted to share with you to start with is this is from the coach's voice. Notice my voice is going, so I have to apologise. But Unai Emery now has a win ratio of 58% as Aston Villa manager. That is the highest of any manager in the club's history, ahead of George Ramsay, who won 6 league titles and 6 FA Cups on 49%. So Unai's win ratio at Villa now is absolutely massive. It's massive, that is, and it's just absolutely fantastic. So, as you can see here, this is the momentum bar from the game against West Ham. You can see in that first half, utter domination from Villa. I did say in the match reaction that I felt we started the second half well, and then West Ham grew into it when they scored their goal. And then Villa had their period where we must have gone 3-1 up. And then it was just, a bit of everything to the end of the game. And then Villa were sort of bombarding them towards the end of the game. We had an expected goals of 2.02. They had 1.15. Expected assists 1.05 for Aston Villa. We had 58% of the possession, 15 shots, 7 on target, 6 off target. They had 14 shots and then 4 were off target. We had 3 big chances and we missed 1 big chance. They had no big chances and they obviously missed their big chance because they didn't have any. We made 487 passes, 89% passing accuracy. They had 343 with 81% passing accuracy. This is the Premier League home form table so far this season. So Aston Villa sit sort of top with 12 points. Newcastle played a game more on 12. Liverpool have played 4 and they're on 12, but our goal difference at home, plus 14. Plus 14 goal difference at home. Absolutely mental. This is the XG shot map by the minute. Aston Villa 2.26, West Ham 0.85. You can see the stars of where we scored our goals as well. And this was where both sides predominantly attacked. Aston Villa down the right-hand side, but it's not far off being quite central as well. And then West Ham is predominantly down their left-hand side. The game was spent 38% in the middle, 35%, and then 27%. And then this is how Aston Villa lined up in the game against West Ham. Zaniolo started, which surprised me, but his performance didn't surprise me because it was really, really good. You can see that SofaScore gave every player a really high rating, apart from Pau and Luca Dean, who were in the 6s, but everybody else was comfortable 7s. And this was Aston Villa's average position. So what you can see from the average positions is we've gone with this 3 at the back. So sort of Cash tucking in a little bit. But when Cash does go forward, Boubacar Kamara occupies that 3 and makes up a back 3. We've got McGinn that comes in and supports that double pivot. And then we've got Zaniolo supporting and a focal point of Diaby and Ollie Watkins. The passing network, which you're about to see now, is very, very telling on how we played. So what you can see from this passing network is you've got Cash marauding forward. You've got Luca Dean going forward as well. And then you've got Kamara that's actively now dropping in and making part of that back 3. So I did say I think we'd see this in the predicted lineup. I thought we would go with Luca Dean and Cash going forward. But then it sort of changes how our midfield looks because, as you can see, the linchpin is Douglas Luiz. Everything goes through Douglas Luiz. But then it alters how the midfield looks. So it then actively kind of makes Luiz the deepest line player in a double pivot, but then gives McGinn a more of an advanced role as well. So there's a triangle with Luiz, Kamara and McGinn who actively anchor the whole midfield, which is absolutely fascinating. You've then got focal point through the middle of Diaby and Watkins, Cash offering width on that right-hand side, and then Zaniolo offering this profile in midfield who just offers so much of a physical presence. It's unbelievable. And I'm going to show you his stats in a second on his on his physicality, on what he offers for this team. Because even though he doesn't get the assists, he's so integral to the way our system plays. And I thought Zaniolo was really, really good in this game. So the passing network, what you can see is there's darker lines. So the darker lines mean that that pass has been on, I think it's more than 5 times. So you've got Torres to Luca Dean, but then you've got Torres to Luca Dean, Luiz, you've got him to Conte, you've got him to Kamara. So that network is absolutely massive. But then when you get into central midfield, the Luiz to Zaniolo, Watkins, McGinn, Diaby, Kamara, this is a great, great passing network. One of the best passing networks we've seen, because what you want to see from a passing network, you want to see the formation. You want to see players where they're actively attacking, and you want to see combinations, and you want to see triangles. You want to see every single player having a connection with another player. Where there's a gap or a missing point is where it's sort of breaking down slightly. So for me, this is expansive. It's structured. It shows our formation. It's got focal points. There's triangles galore. Absolutely remarkable passing network. This is it's fantastic. So this is how West Ham lined up, and it was pretty much as expected. You've got the West Ham passing. You've got the West Ham average positions where it's very, very structured. Their formation, that 4-2-3-1, is very, very structured. It's very, very rigid at the minute. You could see that from the Holt end. And then you've got their passing network. So what I was saying about sort of those links that are missing, you can see Areola doesn't pass to Zuma. You can see that Souček is sort of, apart from Emerson, he's got no network with any player like Paqueta, Ward-Prowse, Alvarez, Antonio, very isolated. And it just kind of breaks down. It kind of breaks down, and it's very rigid. There's not a lot to it. It feeds off scraps. There's the good players in there that just can't really link up. And yeah, I mean, I thought they were okay defensively, West Ham, but I felt like we were quite comfortable to play through them and play around them, which was a big surprise. And I think for me, being as that was a big surprise, I think that's a testament to Aston Villa and a testament to how we play and where we are. That, a good team like West Ham, solid, resolute, but have got some very good players, were pretty non-existent in that game. And that was all down to Aston Villa's style and the way we can play through teams and the way we can dominate possession. Go back to that first half. They camped in their own half for pretty much the whole of that half. They had a couple of little flurries, or they had a couple of a free kick where you start to think, oh, God, here we go, Ward-Prowse. But what did they do first half? Absolutely nothing, really. So the fact that they spent most of their half chasing Aston Villa just shows how good we are. And, like I said in the match reaction, that when teams score and momentum changes, that's massive in football. So the fact that they scored and had a bit of a flurry, that's just how momentum swings in football. But the fact that we came through that and showed a different side to us on that counter was just, for me, absolutely fantastic. So I think that's everything from the stats from the game. I'm just going to quickly show you the little tactical side of things that I just wanted to highlight. So this hasn't moved from the predicted lineup, so I haven't touched it. And if we have a look, right, from the predicted lineup, what did we say? We said Luca Dean and Cash were going to be the fullbacks because we felt like they could get out wide and offer more of a threat. We said Kamara would be dropping in and making that back three. And then you've got Luiz's position here, which you can see from the passing network, that he was in there on his own on that diagram that I've just showed you. Yeah, I've got Bailey in instead of Zaniolo, but it's pretty much how we played, and we called it in the predicted lineup, which is absolutely mental. But yeah, it's just great to see the structure of Kamara sitting in there. You've got Luka Dean going forward. Another thing that I really liked is that we're still adopting this little triangle when they play out from the back. And it was interesting that they were playing out from the back a little bit. So that did surprise me, because generally they do always go long. But, you know, when they were playing out from the back, we had this little triangle, and it seems to work really, really well. And I noticed Southgate went with this triangle for England. So he must have been watching what Emery does when teams play out from the back. But again, they go long, they lose it. They go short, we press them. And we just shift them all around the pitch. So, yeah, I just wanted to show you that, because when I had a look at that tactic pad after the game, I was like, no way, it's not even moved. So I'm just going to go through some of the slides, some of the things that we noticed, some of the big talking points, and then we'll get into a couple of individual performances as well. So I said a couple of weeks ago when I did the Dougie episode that for me, for Dougie to get in the Brazil squad, he's got to start to add goals to his game. And his performance has leveled up massively. You know, he's in these areas now, popping off shots, and that was a great shot to start the game. I mean, look how close that was to going in. That was creeping in. That was so that shot that he had was absolutely fantastic. And then I just want to touch on Zaniolo's performance, really, on his role and how he's creating Villa chances. You know, he's got this swagger about him that's not like Dougie's swagger. That's it's sort of like a really relaxed swagger, and I really like it, because he's not relaxed, but you can see here he sort of gets to that byline. You know, he's 1v1 here. He's standing the player up, and just his raw power to get to that byline. He cuts it back to Watkins, then Watkins cuts it back to Luiz. You know, and this is where I really want to see Dougie Luiz now. He's adding goals to his game. He's a real sort of Frank Lampard-esque there, you know, just getting on the end of stuff and being heavily involved at the top end of the pitch. And, you know, this is just a general attack first half. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players in the box. You know, we've committed 5 players forward. And, you know, even if he wanted to tee up Kamara, he could probably tee up Kamara. And, you know, it's a great finish, and it's great now to have Dougie Luiz in those areas. It's absolutely where we want Luiz to be now, in those areas, attacking that ball, getting on the end of stuff. And yeah, Luiz, and we spoke about, you know, him not finishing the chances against Wolves, but he you know, he made up for it, and yeah, finished his chance there. Another talking point was the penalty. Stonewall for me. As soon as I seen it, penalty. You know, he loses his man. He doesn't really know that Consa's there, and you know, it's Consa's won us a penalty there. The contact already happens, but there's contact there, and yeah, penalty. Shoves him off the ball. Contact with his leg. So definite penalty for me. Dougie Luiz puts them anywhere, centre, left, right, cool, calm, collective, just absolutely fantastic. And you know what I loved? Loved his little fishing, celebration. Absolutely loved it. I absolutely loved his little celebration. It was class. So his penalty was great, but he did kind of lose his way a little bit after the pen. He kind of, Emery said he loosened up a bit too much. He got a bit too relaxed, and I think he probably did. But, you know, and there now we look at the goal from West Ham, and kind of you want Bowen shooting from, you want any player shooting from distance from anywhere, really. I mean, he wound his shot up. You could see he wound his left foot up to hit this. And we're in a kind of a good position, I think. I think Luca Dean has sort of had him on that sort of left-hand side. And, you know, he probably could have got a little bit tighter to him, you know. But to be critical of conceding from here, I think he's very, very harsh. I mean, it takes a nick off Pau Torres and goes in. And we've been here before with West Ham. We've Fornals nicking shots and hitting the top corner and etc. So I just think this is a very, very lucky goal that they scored. I mean, again, we defend pretty well here, really. I mean, you could say get tighter, but you know, look how far out he is, and yeah, takes that big deflection, and that's it, you know. But then, what pleases me the most is we come to life on the counter. A beautiful ball from McGinn over the top to Watkins, who's now been told not to chase balls with fullbacks into corners, to run in that sort of zone where the goal is, to run straight at goal. And then the finish to hit that top corner from there. If you go back and watch the goal, on how hard he hits that ball, it is like an absolute rocket going in. And then Bailey socks down. I think I like Bailey socks down. Bailey socks down. I think I like it better. Step over, cuts inside, finish. Pure filth. It's an absolute filthy finish. But it's great, and I love it, and it's fantastic. So we'll have a look now at some individual performances. Ezri Konsa, this doesn't surprise me. 97% passing accuracy from Ezri Konsa. 6 ground duels. 6 ground duels won. Remarkable. Dougie Luiz, we've got 88% passing accuracy. 5 out of 6 long balls. We have got 3 out of 6 ground duels won. Zaniolo, check this out. 86% passing accuracy. 7 out of 12 ground duels won. 2 out of 2 successful dribbles. You know, his stats were brilliant. I mean, you know, his duels that he's winning, you know, that's why he's in the team as well. Ollie Watkins will go. He got 74%. He won 2 out of 3 ground duels. Absolutely fantastic. Let's have a little look at Kamara. So Kamara, 92% passing accuracy, 6 out of 11 ground duels. McGinn had 88% passing accuracy. He had 1 out of 4 ground duels won. And we'll have a look at Diaby. Diaby was 86, and his dribbles, he had, where are his dribbles? 1 out of 1 successful dribbles. So, you know, the players look at them now, high 7s. If we go on Ollie Watkins' form this season, 7.52 on SofaScore, 7.3, 7.8, 10, 7.1, 8. Ollie Watkins, absolutely remarkable. Absolutely remarkable. But there we go. That's the debrief. Deep dive into Aston Villa, smashing West Ham 4-1 at home. Absolutely loving it. Climbing the table. I just love creating Villa content. Do you know what I mean? Yesterday, oh my God, created so much. We had fan cam, done. Match reaction, done. 4 TikToks, done. 4 YouTube shorts, done. So if you can, go back and watch the YouTube shorts and follow us on TikTok. I'm creating short form content as well for you now as well. So we've got that sort of short form content. And yeah, fan cams were fantastic. It was so great to see Luis Miguel Echegaray from New York come over. Works for ESPN. He's interviewed Messi, Beckham, the lot. So go back, check that one out. And just thanks for everybody enjoying the content. we're creating so much of it, and you're all absolutely loving it. So if you are new, get on this journey with us, subscribe to the channel, hit a like, get involved in the comment section. I've got to say about the comment section yesterday, sorry I couldn't respond to everybody. There was just too many. Like I got home and I'd already uploaded the fan cam, and then I'd uploaded a match reaction, and then I'd done all of the shorts, and I was scrolling through, and there was that many comments. I just thought, I can't respond to them all. So I'm really sorry, but I'll respond to all of them on the debrief, etc. And that's what I make sure I always do. I always respond to every comment, but I just couldn't. There's too many. So I dropped you all a like. So you drop me a like. I'll drop you a like. But yeah, so we are also going to be creating we're going to do once a week content for the members, and it's going to be members only content. So because we've got members that pay to support the channel, I feel now is the right time for me to create you guys some content as well, because you pay your hard-earned money into the channel. So the least I can do is create you some content now. So we are going to be doing an episode basically called Player Watch. So each game, Premier League games, I'm going to pick a player, good or bad. Doesn't have to be man of the match. And I'm going to review the player's performance. So that's just something for you guys to have as well. So if any of you notice that there's an episode that you can't watch if you're not a member, that's probably why. So there'll be one members only episode a week. So it'll be after each game. So cheers everybody who supports the channel. Your support is just absolutely massive. So thank you to everybody. So up the Villa, and next episode will be a match preview for Europe. Up the Villa.